Good morning, traders. Are you guys ready to get right back into the trading action? You guys know where you're at. Ryan Faluna, Zunaid, and I are back at it, ready to get into it. You know we started the small account challenge yesterday. I didn't take a trade, but my man Ryan killing it right off the start, 10%. Don't want to put too much pressure on him. Hint, hint. We're going to get right to the trading action. You guys smash the like. Let's get it started. Live trading with Benzinga.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, team, let's get to the action. Let's take a look at what's going on. Let's bring on the boys. We got Ryan Faluna. We got Zunaid in the house. What's going on, guys? How we doing? You guys ready to get the day started?
Dude, I haven't been this excited for a live trading show in a long time. I went into this small account challenge nervous. I am excited. I love Moo so far. Just giving you the disclaimer right off the top here. Absolutely think it's great. We'll talk about the mobile app today, which is also awesome. I'm doing real good.
Yeah, awesome to hear it. And that's what it's all about, team. We're going to get into the action today. Of course, we're going to continue with the small account challenge. This is more against us three, right? It's me against Ryan, against Zunaid, right? This is not us against you guys out there. I don't want you guys to think that, really, because at the end of the day, I want you guys to learn from the process, right? See how we go about it. Also, see how the pressure kind of gets to us, right? Because the truth is, with our other accounts, we don't stress too much when we lose and kind of win. Yesterday, you could see it on Ryan. He was feeling it. He was feeling it whichever way. And that's what I want you guys to also learn from, right? It's impossible to have no emotions. The truth is, computers do that, right? But we can always try to stay on top, right? Try to stay in the zone, try to stay focused. That's what we'll be doing today. Zunaid, you ready to get after it? I know my man's ready. Ryan already has a lead on us, Zunaid, so we're going to have to step it up. It's okay. We'll catch up, right? All right, let's get to the action. Let's start talking about stocks that are moving. Of course, I will go ahead and bring on my screen. Of course, you guys see it at the top. We're sponsored by Moo now. And definitely, if you guys want to check it out, trade like a pro. Get up to 15 free stocks today. Of course, if you deposit, you want more information, click the link, or as simple as this, team, you guys can just pull out the phone, scan the QR code right here on the screen, and get over to Moo. Also, we'll put it up in the top right corner here so that you guys can scan that throughout the show. Let's get to the action. Let's start talking about stocks. And of course, Ryan, what you got, my friend?
You talked about using our referral link to get 15 free stock. Something else that I want to point out to you, yesterday when I was kind of poking around with the mobile app, I also noticed that there was a contest where you guess Apple's earnings. Are they going to be up or down after their earnings? And you can win 1 or 2 or 3 free shares of stock. Yeah. This is really cool. I mean, I clicked on it just because it was something to click on, but the fact that I have a chance to actually win a share or 2 of Bank of America, pretty sweet. So, I mean,
so many things, man. So many things. I've been going through this desktop. Dude, you're gonna love what I found for later in the day. I'm saving it, but we're gonna actually there's a strategy scanner on here. What? With historical results. What?
I'm excited. I haven't explored that. Let's go, Mitch.
That's what I'm talking about. Things like that is what it's all about, right? At the end of the day, we always talk about it, right? We talk about Benzinga Pro. Why? Because it's a tool, right? This is also a tool. Always look for tools that can help you traders get to that next level. Let's get right to the stock action. We don't want to take too much time. Let's take a look at what we're going to be trading today. Of course, I do have some swing trades on. One I'm in the red already is Airbnb, but I took this one yesterday. Just got to keep watch on it today to see if we can stay up on the trend, right? You can see how we started coming off of this kind of 114 level, working our way higher. I'm going to see if we can kind of just break out of this trend and not retrace through yesterday's kind of low action. We'll see what happens if we can continue pushing higher in Airbnb today. I also did an SQQQ swing, and I know that someone else did one here. We'll talk a little bit about that. but definitely going to be looking at SQQQ today and Oracle yesterday. You guys saw me take that one. That one was in the green decently, but now starting to leak into the red. We'll keep watch on this one. Got it at 95.07 yesterday. Might have to cut this one out the gates. But of course, we'll be watching also some smaller names. One of my top watch today, CXAI. Of course, you guys know this one. Yesterday started getting a move. I will keep this one on watch today to see if we can get this one back through 14. It's been kind of stair-stepping its way. I can see this kind of trend line action holding well here. So I'm going to keep this one on watch. Could see pullbacks maybe out the gates for a little bit of a cut down towards kind of the, let's say the 1340s, and then a recovery of 14. Let's see if we get that red to green action here. CXAI. Now kicking it to you, boys. We'll go to Ryan's outlook. I know that man has the S&P 500 on deck, ready to go. Let's get it.
Well, we're going to add a little bit more to the morning rundown here, but don't worry, Zunaid, I will keep it short. The first thing that we're going to take a look at is SPY. We do this every day. SPY yesterday really kind of felt toppy, really felt like the first move on a regression back towards one of these support levels. We didn't necessarily set a new high. I mean, I guess technically we punched above it, but we actually closed beneath it. So to me, this still looks like we're going to move back down. 410 would be the first spot here. Unsure if we'll get to it today. Remember, today's the start of the two-day Fed meeting. We're going to get the results of that meeting tomorrow. Everyone is expecting a 25 bips raise, and I think that's what we get. We did have some earnings here this morning. We had Uber, Pfizer, Marriott, BP, and Marathon. Uber trading up here. Pfizer actually down a little bit. We can check in on some of the oils in a little bit, but that's one of the things that's driving the market here today. But yeah, SPY, my goal or my bias here is to the downside. Now, let's also do a small account challenge update. And I think that we probably have the sharing figured out here. So let's go ahead and take a look. Remember yesterday in the small account challenge, we took a day trade on SNTG. If we take a look at that here real quick, I was definitely excited. Definitely excited here. The one thing to note, let me see how to move the chart back here. I think that's... I'm not sure how to do that. But anyway, SNTG was as high as almost $10 yesterday. So I definitely sold early.
If you want, Ryan, you could full screen that chart. There's a little thing on the right-hand side. You can full screen it and kind of make it big right quick.
This? No.
Ooh, no, on that one, it doesn't have it. All right, so I'll figure out the way that you can full screen that one.
Here. Oh no, okay. In any case, so here, let's see if I can.
No, don't worry about it. I mean, for right now, it's fine.
Here we go. This will show you SNTG yesterday. We had a huge move here.
Look at that.
I was really excited, right? We did the first trade in the small account challenge was a success. We got 50 cents out of the scalp. Stock ended up going multiple dollars. It's this worth talking about this right now because, again, as Mitch was saying, if this was my regular account and I had more shares, I likely would have peeled partial of the position off and sat some in for a runner, and then we would have been able to capitalize on this next move up. Because I only took 100 shares and because I was so focused on making sure that I booked a gain, I actually ended up selling early. The key takeaway here is this is not something that I should get upset about because what that's going to do is cause me to revenge trade or maybe try and force trades. And we don't want to do that. We have a very small capital to work with. We want to hit singles and build that capital up. An update to the portfolio here, though. Yesterday before close, I took some SQQQ in accordance with my thought that the market is going to go down yesterday. So you can see right here is my buy. Again, Mumu marking it right on the chart here. I filled 10 shares of SQQQ at 29.06. That is an active trade going into today. So I burned one of my day trades yesterday. I have a stock that I purchased yesterday. I'm going to manage that trade today. I think we sell off. I'm going to be looking for profit on SQQQ. So that's one of the things I'm looking at here. As far as Mumu, I have a watch list going here. I haven't updated it with the movers from today. I'm going to do that while Zunaid goes. Order entry tools, chart, a view of the SPY. Today, an unusual option scanner, the order book, the level 2, and also the option chain for these. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Let me go ahead and do this and add, remove. I'll figure it out here. Here we go. I don't understand. There we go. Okay, it was just the layout. I'll figure out these buttons, folks. Don't worry. Now, let's go back over to the movers and let's take a look at some of the stocks that are in play here today. First one here is going to be Hour. This one showing us a pretty big move here. we're up quite a bit. Looks like our really needs to take out the 550 area. That's one of the levels that we're going to be checking, maybe 560. I still think it's going to get some action around 550. Next is going to be LXEH. This is really spiking here. Looks like 180 is where it stops. We're going to wait for this momentum to stop. I expect a pullback here out of the open. We're actually quite extended away from VWAP. LEJU, this popped earlier today. This one could get crazy. I believe this is another China name, which goes in. Yep, this is another China name, and this is what we've been seeing. It's a lot of that micro float. China stocks have really produced huge moves intraday. Those are some of the ones that we're going to try and capture today. TIRX would be another one. This is gapping up. This one might be a little bit slower. Weifu, we've actually traded this one here before on the show, high of 550. This is what we actually need to break down for this thing to really get nuts later today. And we've traded Weifu before. Again, really low float. Be careful with all of these. Looking through the rest of the movers, don't really see anything great here. Maybe AGBA, if we can take out 290 here, that's actually lining up pretty good with the VWAP. And in fact, I want to mark off this 381 spot to the top. And then it's also, I'm sure Zunaid's going to cover this, so I'm going to turn it over to him. But Uber, this is one of the stocks that reported earnings here this morning. It popped up. We might actually have a gap and go here. And these might be possible for trading options. So Zunaid, I don't want to take up too much more time. Why don't you go ahead and let us know what you're looking at?
Yeah, sounds good. And I've got the Uber app already downloaded and $500 are ready to go. So we'll definitely go ahead and make sure we win that challenge between the three of us. Let's go ahead and take a look at Uber here. So you've got approximate support here at $34.80. We'll call that about the $35 range. So I'll be interested in trying to purchase some shares there. Let's actually go ahead and put in an order. Oh, look at that. See with this, so what I'm going to probably try to do is, because you guys know I like to trade my lottos and things like that. Excuse me, I have to put in my security code here. So what I'll probably do is with this challenge, I'll probably go ahead and purchase some options. But of course, I'm going to see if I can kind of take some lottos, some swings, and different things like that on that. So as soon as I go ahead and take a trade, I'll make sure I tell you guys about it here on the show now that we're live and active. All right. We're going to go ahead and purchase about, let's see, let's risk about 100, see if we can get about 100 for take profit. We're going to risk about $100, see if we can purchase some shares at about 35.02. And then our stop loss is going to be approximately 34.52 and see if we can get back. Matter of fact, I might try to be a little cute with this one and see if we can get back to the 35.91. So that's the trade that I have on Uber. It's going to be about almost a 2-to-1 trade on that one. Let's go ahead and check out Amazon as that one gets closer and closer to $100. Last time it was around 101, where this one did go ahead and kind of bounce right around that area. You see it, but I personally want to wait for the $100 range. So we'll go ahead and move this little puppy in terms of alerts to over there. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and make sure I mute this so no one yells at me about it later. Cool. So that's what we've got there. If you're looking to go long, the one area that I would be interested in would be the crack of 102 to the upside on Amazon. Let's go ahead and check out some Google here. If it cracks 108, I'd be interested in this one. You do have a little bit of resistance around 108.50s, but on SPY, that's the one thing I was keeping an eye on, as I wanted to go short on the crack of 415. Obviously, it's already well below 14, or excuse me, 415. So we'll see if it can go ahead and pop up and then break down. I don't want to necessarily go ahead and just take a trade when it tries to go ahead and hit it and then come back down, but we'll see which way it wants to break. Of course, with the Fed and everything else tomorrow, would not be surprised if we can go ahead and see some chops. Someone mentioned some FCEL news. Let me see on this one here, $2, right? You see how that one was kind of resistance popped up. It's held its support yesterday. We can see how that goes if it gets some volume. This type of chart is not one that I like to trade, but $2 could be interesting to me on that side of things. You did have 236s hold. You see I've got a nice little crayon drawing there. That one did go ahead and hold on Facebook. If it goes ahead and cracks 244, it could be interesting to the upside and possibly go ahead and tag 250s as well. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and hold off and see if we can go ahead and get a better setup. Disney, I got a chance to play this one yesterday, as we did get a bounce from 101.66 to the upside. Now that is well below it, so we'll see if it wants to come back and test it. No idea what this long weird wick is, but if it does try to go ahead and bounce from the 101.66 and rejects, it could be a good short to about the 101s. As you can see, we're already there. But here we go. Things have started to go. It looks like Uber is in play. Is it going to get stopped out ASAP or what? It looks like it may have. All right, we're in for 200 shares here. Our average price is about 35, I believe. And here we go. We're in the trade. Stop loss 34.52.
All right, good stuff. I am watching SQQQ out of the gate here. That is the trade that I'm in. My buy price there was 29.06. So we're up about 6 cents here. I suspect that the market is going to dip. One of the things I'm going to be looking for is taking gains on that. I'm going to actively manage this trade. The good news here is that because I burned a day trade yesterday, I don't necessarily have to burn one today. If we see an absolutely unpassable setup, I probably will. But again, I want to play this slow, make sure I don't blow this account up really, really quick. Trade that I'm in, currently moving up. Good stuff here.
All right, you've got Uber. There he goes. So that one did good against stopped out. Took an L on that first take of the trade. Focusing now on Disney. See how Disney wants to kind of behave around this $100 range.
All right, let's do this thing.
Let's see if we can get some there.
Okay, SQQQ is looking well right out the gates. I do want to add to, if I can today, for kind of the swing outlook here. I have 2880s. Anything below kind of 20, going through 29 here, I'll definitely add. But I think the SQQQs could push a little bit today. Airbnb is the one that I'm looking at. Might sell here. I got 119.50s as my risk. If that hits, I'll be out.
NYSE to delist FRC. Thank you, Mumu, for the the notification on the mobile app.
CXAI, man. Oh, fucking A, man. That was the one. That was the one. Oh, man, I wanted that one. It's already to 1475, Ryan. Oh.
Remember CXAI, that was the big one that Andy hit last week. So it looks like that's gearing up here again.
Oh, it already just ripped. Now 15. This was the one I was going to take in the small account. Oh, I'm frustrated a little bit, but that's how it goes, team. Sometimes you come and you snooze and lose out. I snoozed on the open, missed that CXAI trade. What a move there. Big rip there right out the gates. I would have loved to have played that, and I probably would be already getting out here.
Yeah, I was going to say, see, that's one of the things that's one of the things that I'm going to have to balance here and kind of get acclimated to is when do we actually exit? Is 50 cents good? I mean, after we saw one rip multiple hundreds of percent, maybe you want to wait on that a little bit more.
To me, it's all about the hourly on this one. So look how the hourly comes right to resistance, right? And so that's all that matters to here. So to me, as it comes to hourly resistance, hourly levels would get me out. Next level, 1524. And so 15 would be that next level up. I think that could get through it. First level would have been around the 1430s, going towards the 15, and then above that. I think eventually this one could get to 16 even today. But one thing to mention about this one, the spread is getting wide here, about 30 cents. So look at that, 60 cents there on CXAI. Be careful with the spread like that. You could get caught and get destroyed, especially if you're going off the offer. And then all of a sudden the bid drops down to 14, right? So just be careful out there. It has some liquidity issues, I would say at least, and you got to know how to trade this type of stock.
Someone asked if
also on watch. What you got, my friend?
Someone said if I'd get back in Uber, I'd like to, but I just don't have as clear of a picture because that support did go ahead and break. So it's kind of like, it's not as strong as I would have liked, but if you wanted to, you could get it on small size. Sure, it's at 35 at the moment. What's your stop loss going to be? You know, are you going to risk 50 cents? Or are you going to risk low of day, which is approximately 75 cents? So it kind of depends on what your risk reward you're looking for on that trade on Uber.
All right, we'll see what happens. I am going to be looking for pullbacks in Tesla up to 164. I've been looking for a push in Tesla. Talked about it on Start Swing Trade yesterday. It's starting to push already to 164. I need a pullback here to try to get in, but we'll see what happens. Already a nice little push there in Tesla. All right, let's look around. What else is moving? Watch Meta. Meta wants to fly. You guys are talking about Meta. I'll take a look at that. That did do a nice little push right out the gates up there to 244.80s. Yeah, 244.81. So nice little push here on Meta out the gates. We'll see what happens.
And
now
so one of
discuss it. Go ahead.
I was just going to say one of the things that I'm looking at here on the SQQQ trade. Think of if we break yesterday's intraday low on SQQQ, I've got that at 28.68. We will stop out of this trade, currently red by just a couple of pennies. But again, I do think that the market sells off. First move here is down. Maybe we get a bounce and a retest of those lows. That's what I'd be looking at here.
All right, you're facing resistance here on the 165. Interested to see how it kind of plays. I want to go short there.
CXAI pulling back here. I'm taking a look at it. I'll let you guys know if I do take a shot in it.
Yeah, let's see how this 160, 165 behaves. Got another crack above.
Real quickly, BAOS, this was the big one from yesterday here. This actually is halted, I believe. Looks like this is trying to clear out the sideways formation. This thing went absolutely bananas up to like 42 yesterday. We're currently at 17. So maybe we get another rip here on BAOS. Again, this is one of those risky China names. Be careful if you do play this. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit easier to see. Still watching some of the unusual options. Really haven't seen a whole lot. I got two different services watching them now. Haven't really seen a whole lot of really interesting trades, at least for new trading ideas. So keeping my eyes tuned to the unusual options streets, as they say.
All right, looking at CXAI pulling back here, but I'm also looking at the market overall to see it, and we are coming down a little bit. So that's where it gets a little bit concerning about trading to the upside today. But I got the SQQQs going higher. Did get stopped out of the Airbnb swing. So now it's just all about Oracle and SQQQs. SQQQs look great here. That's where it gets a little bit hard about CXAI. You see it pull back right now to 1390s. So on that little pullback, I would have got filled there at probably 14. If I put the order out, I even had it set up here. You guys see it down here. All I needed to do was hit the unlock. So at that point right now, it's kind of more the market holding me back versus what's going on. So if the SPY was going higher, I think I take the shot, but I think we're leaking today. So I'm going to hold off on the CXAI pullback. Kicking it to you guys.
Pretty good volume here on the SQQQ push up. One of the other things here we're taking a look at, let me go ahead and do this again. I'm getting the hang of it, Mitch. You guys are talking about TIRX. To me, this looks pretty good through 4, right? So this is kind of what we're looking at here. This crosses through here and goes through 4. We should be in good shape on TIRX. Also watching the market up here. Market looks like it wants to move lower. We'll see if it actually does that. And taking a look at the QQQ trade, up 85 cents on my 10 shares. Slow and steady wins this race, as far as I'm concerned.
We'll keep watch to see what happens. I'm really looking to see if the SPY can actually start going into the green here. It does leak out the gates here, so I'm keeping an eye on that. Let's look at the bigger names, really. That's what I wanted to look at, like Apple. Apple's green, just bounced off of VWAP. Microsoft is green here out the gate. So we're going to keep a watch on some of these names to see if they go into the red. I also saw Tesla having a good day. NVIDIA is in the red, though. That one was so strong yesterday. Now starting to get a little bit weak. We'll see what AMD does. Of course, earnings tonight and pulling back here right below the VWAP. All right, let's go to AMD, see how that's looking here. See what's going on.
Speaking of earnings, Mitch, big earnings today for me. AMD, Ford, and Starbucks. Definitely want to know what those report. AMD probably the biggest of those. Ford, I know we're waiting on a trade back down towards a 10 channel, I believe. Let me pull up my chart here. I have that one marked.
There's the pullback there for AMD. I'm interested in this little pullback. It is interesting here to see this pullback now.
And real quick, as far as the Ford trade goes, this is a running discussion here on Happy Hour. A lot of people are using Ford as a trade, adding to the stock and selling upside calls when it's trading sideways here. One of the things that you'll notice is that this 11 support, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate events. In here, we actually tested it a few times, so it's actually more than that. Really sturdy support here. It'll be interesting to see if the earnings actually take us out of this channel, right? Do we trade back up towards that 1466 level, or do we actually trade back down towards the 11? You actually might get some people that are going to add to their position down here, as this has been really, really strong support thus far. Mitch, kicking it back to you.
Sounds good, guys. I'm looking at that shop pullback right now. To me, it's all about Amazon on the shop pullback. You've seen Amazon up today, And what do you do? What do you see on Shop? You see Shop up today. So a nice little VWAP bounce right now. I just saw Shop bounce here to the left, but I'm watching also Amazon here on the right to see what happens, see if we can get back up above. But this is interesting to take a look at because the SPY is going down here, but yet you have Apple up. You have Microsoft that was up. Look at Apple just take a hard downside move. That shows me more and more that we could see some leaking. So the SQQQs is something that I can add to. Look at that little push in the SQQQs now to 29.28. So another thing could be looking for shorts right now, right? But I could also do what? Socks S, baby. Looking at that one for potentially taking a trade here, even on Moomoo. Let's see what happens, team. Let's see if I can grab this.
As the market's coming down, I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of bounce on Tesla. So Tesla, we had that resistance level at approximately 163.54, and that kind of blew right through it. I'm going to see if this is a retest or not. So I've got my trade in. I got 100 shares at 163.66. Stop loss is 162.72. Risking about $74, looking to make 98 to the upside. I'm in with 100 shares. Let's see which way this goes. I did already take an L on this one. It hasn't been my day, but want to be transparent with what I've got going on. Meta saying not looking back or giving it back, excuse me. Yeah, made new highs, rejected that 245, and then right back down. I think support area you can look for is maybe 241s on this one because you can see you had resistance there, came back, tested it as support. We'll see how it behaves. But yeah, Meta straight down after it went ahead and touched 245s.
Little educational session. You folks can join along with me. You guys remember how I was struggling to move the chart back and forth because it's different than what I'm used to. It's actually this little slider down here, and it works extremely well. Had I have known that, this would have been really easy. By the way, Crow shouting out TIRX. It did break out of that first formation here. Looks like we're trying to take the top off at 485. TIRX looking good so far.
I'm looking for pullbacks in FAZ here, team. So I might take a shot on this. I'm looking at it right now. I'd have to use a little bit more of the account than I want to. I don't want to really be using more than 50% of the account on one trade. But in this case, I would have to use up to about like $312 up to 500 capital. So it should be about, like they're using like 60% of the account there. But I need a pullback here on FAZ to the VWAP. It's already looking like it wants to go higher. This is one that I've had on the watch also from the daily outlook. We'll look to see if the financials go into the red. Pretty much everything in the red here out the gates.
Sorry about that, Mitch. Wilson, my charts are blurry. Question: is it this
a little
chart?
bit? No, it's the other one. When it starts, when it starts at first, like when I pull it up here, like right there, it's blurry. And then after a little while, for some reason, the OBS is fixing it. So it has to do some issues with your kind of, because you have different, like you have a 4K screen, right? And so we're running into issues with that. Don't worry, we'll fix that.
I'm sharing a window that's 1080p size. So I feel like if we leave it up for long enough,
you see right there, it's perfectly clear now.
No, see, for me, it never changed, but that's probably because I'm sharing it and it's on the local machine. But that's good to know. I'll when I switch to this, I'll try and leave it up so we can discern the numbers. But yeah, that's really good feedback. Keep it up.
Yeah, like right now, it looks like really crisp. I think maybe leave it in their corner.
Got it.
Leave it in the corner. Maybe that might help it.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that might help it. All right, team. Let's keep going after it, team. We're learning it. We're learning how to deal with this, right? It's harder. I can tell you right now to deal with so many different kind of brokerages opened up, right? So we're dealing with it. We're trying to do our best, and we keep going after it. We'll see what happens.
All right, you've got Tesla trade that's up now about $60. We're looking for $98. Let's hope this one doesn't just come on back down. We're waiting for the crack of about the 164.50s. That's where we're facing a little bit of resistance, as you can see. Let me go ahead and kind of X out of that. So we'll see if it does go ahead and break 164.50s and give us a fill at 164.64s, or if it just comes on back down.
Jay Rice mentioning the divergence in TAP and Bud. Important to note, I don't have a trade on either one of these, but if you'll see here, what I've got is the Bud ticker pulled up. So the candles that you're seeing here, this is Budweiser. The orange line that is completely diverging in the opposite direction at an exponential rate, that is in fact TAP. So this relationship quite clear, Jay, here. I think that you're right. That boycott is absolutely having an effect on the stock price of Bud. You're absolutely right.
Success, quick pullback, market trying to find a little bit of a bounce here. It's an opportunity for me, but the only problem is I can't get enough. The volatility isn't enough there for me on SOXS to go after it. It'd be a very, very small trade in the small account challenge. So looking at it on this pullback, this is FAZ. I'll show you SOXS here. SOXS doesn't look too bad there, but looking at it as it pulls back here to the 65s, market overall kind of catching a little bit of a bounce there. I'll show you the 5-minute. You can see right there, bottoming action. That's what I was seeing right there for the reversal action. We'll see if we come back up through the VWAP.
And real quick here, you guys are talking about TIRX. We hooked one. Now I'm not in this again. I don't have the full arsenal of being able to make as many trades as I would normally do. Crow, shout out, man. You were spot on this one here. The clear out of the 432 led to a test of the 486, which we popped through. Now 552 has fallen, and I believe Turks is halted now. So Turks big run here. I would say if you have some gains from this initial trade, at least book partial now that this has entered halt status. So TIRX, this is a winner right off of the list here this morning. Our chat is hitting it. Absolutely love it.
All right, you got the Tesla pop support did go to held at the 163.54, so we did go ahead and take our gains there at the 64. Well, let's see what it was just for transparency purposes. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. What's up?
No, I just was slow to the gun here. I was getting my Tesla order ready and just didn't get it out in time there. You guys see it on the bottom left. I wanted 164. It's already up there to 164.80s. I would look for pullbacks in Tesla. I started seeing the spot coming back, kicking it to you.
Yep. So there you go. So we purchased 100 shares at 163.66. We sold them at 164.64. So we went ahead and made a buck on that. Let me go and get rid of that because those things annoy me. Just wanted to show y'all, but sweet. Now we can see if it does go ahead and break 165, obviously, then you've got 165.50, which was the high of day on Tesla. But the main reason we took this trade, let's kind of walk it back, right? So I went ahead and set a line here at 163.54, and that's because that was a pre-market high. I did go ahead and go short here initially to see if that would go ahead and reject. It didn't. I lost money on that trade. I got out. Then it went ahead and made a high. And then when this retest is when I got back into the long side because I wanted this. I wanted to see if this resistance would turn into support. Lo and behold, it did. We went ahead and made money on that. Now we're out of the trade. Now, if someone wanted to get right back into it, you'd have to see if this 165.50 would break, or if we go ahead and break 163.50s to the downside, or if you want to test this as support. But for me, don't really have the most confidence. I already dipped twice and thankfully broke even on that trade. So I'm good. I'm out. I'm doing all right.
That was in your regular account, Sinead?
Yeah, my Moomoo account, I'm probably going to take a swing either tomorrow or Thursday and see if I can play some Apple earnings, you know?
I like it. You know, I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about how am I going to effectively really increase the value of the account. And I think one of the things I might do is try some earnings gambles. And I'm intentionally selecting the word gambles with small priced options using only profit that I make from other trades. So with only $50 of profit booked so far, not in a position to really kind of take one of those, but I am looking at that, Zunaid, and I'm curious about how you manage risk through binary events like that. Should be fun.
Yeah. And it'll be cool because I might just go ahead and so I need to wait for my options to go ahead and get approved, but might just do kind of like a debit spread, right? To where if I go ahead and buy, say a strike that's $3 away, and then I sell one that's $5 away and try to capture that $2 move if it gets there, which obviously caps my gains as well, but also limits my profits and my losses as well. So yeah, once I pull the trigger, I'll let y'all know.
It also limits how much you have to lay out, right? You could sell one contract to finance the purchase of another.
Exactly. Yep. All right, let's see what else we got.
That's brave. That's brave.
Zunaid, you actually bring up a really good point. Basically, what I did is when we funded these accounts for this challenge, I did nothing else. So Mitch yesterday was talking about getting a different data set maybe for the order book. You're talking about getting options approved. That's something that I probably need to do here, although I'm going to be a little bit slow on the options out of the gate.
That's okay. That's okay. One thing I'm seeing right now, I'm looking at the CXAI book right now, and I can see 1,790 shares waiting there at 14, another 1,000 waiting at 1390s, looking to see if we can get that attempted fill towards that 1390s, recovery of 14 on CXAI. Might take a shot here. Just got to be patient. Let them get filled first. And then as it comes back through the 14, that's where I'll be looking for. You can see it's coming after him right now. can see the book right here. I'm going to try to explain more on this because, you know, this at least has it on like kind of one page. I could explain it to you guys.
Yeah,
I'm going to show you guys a little bit more and more of how I use like this ARCA book to show me that and how we're coming after him. And you just pulled it off. I didn't even see him get filled there. Time and sales is very important too. So I'm going to work a time and sales into this window so you guys can see it. But there you guys see him. He gets attacked. You see how it goes to 1380s. Now I'm going to look to see if we get that recovery of 14. And then I can start looking for it. The only problem here is the spread. Keep that in mind. The spread is pretty wide.
Real quick, market is trying to bounce here, so we'll see if this bounce materializes or if this is just a temporary bounce. Hour kind of flagging here.
SPY is an interesting move here. It's just hanging at the bottom.
Yep. We're just still kind of watching that. Weifu, this is one of the other low float stocks that we were talking about. This actually looks like it's trying to curl and break through this 460 area. If it does that, next spot I have is 542 and then 559. I guess we could call that 560. So Weifu looking pretty good here. Be careful with this one. It likes to yank. We've actually already seen a couple here this morning.
I'm going to see if I can take a shot here on Uber. Went ahead and got in with 200 shares at 34.78. Stop loss is going to be 34.49. You can see it's kind of found support multiple times. Let's see if we can kind of just give us a little bit of a push for about 50 cents or so to the upside.
TIRX is open. First move here is down right back to the support level that we outlined at 486. We'll see if it holds here. Again, this is one of the reasons why we're saying book some of those gains, at least partial. Even if this runs back up and cracks through 552, you want to make sure you have some of those gains booked in case this comes back down to where it started.
QQQs have now gone green for slight seconds. We'll see if it goes ahead and sustains itself up there or not. We're up about 23 bucks. We're up about, what is the, about 13 cents, 14 cents now on our Uber trade. Let me see something here, shall we? Yeah.
Amazon
SPY going down, yet we got Amazon ripping up, Apple coming back to VWAP. It just seems like it's a little bit of a mixed rotation here, team. Whereas things are getting hit is oil. Oil taking hard downside today, 2% down on that end. And man, I found more and more interesting things on Moomoo as you keep going along. So I just want to show you guys a new feature here, another one here. You guys can definitely check this one out. If you go to Explore tab, or you actually go to the Market tab, right? And then they're going to have hot stocks there, and you can start actually doing it by charts. So you can just look through the charts and kind of scroll through here. I like doing that because it really just shows me, right, if there's something standing out like QH, quickly, I could already tell consolidation hasn't really taken off, but could get a move towards 313, keeping an eye on things like that. We'll see what happens with these. Always, it's important to kind of keep up. And you can change this to charts, or you can change it towards a list form. If you want it like a list, you could also just change it to the list. As simple as that, top right corner.
And speaking of that markets tab, I have my phone app here. This is the markets tab on the mobile app. And I
love it.
I know it's hard to see. I'm sorry about that. This is actually one of the best single screens in any app I've ever used. It has a ton of stuff in here. If I'm looking for something for information, it's likely going to be right on this page. Special shout out to this advanced decline block here for the market overview. Really, really helpful to determine breadth. So just, again, I was surprised yesterday when I was kind of playing around with the app. I was really, really surprised at how in-depth it is. If you're not used to apps, there is a bit of a learning curve, but once you kind of get the hang of it, there is a ton of good information easily accessible in there.
Yeah, it's a lot. And there's even areas where you can look for things by themes and things like that. Stuff that I really like. Industry heat maps, stock heat maps, right? Maybe if you just want to look for certain stocks, like what is making moves, right? Well, it's all there in the Explore tab, top left to the market hotspots. Check it out, team. Let's keep getting into this market. SQQQs looking like they want to get a nice little lift here. Q's looking like they want to come right back down. So I'm going to actually start looking for some shorts. Like Nvidia seems like an interesting one for me. We'll see what happens on that one. That one looks like it could break down. SOX S, maybe reversal right back towards 1995. Going to take a look at SOX S here as it's pulled back significantly to a trend line. So maybe I can risk really closely today off of 19 for a swing back up on SOX S. We'll see what happens.
On the Uber trade, we're still just kind of going back and forth. No real decision has been made. We got close. I mean, look at this. We were about 7 cents away. I got to do a better job of having my profit targets below whole numbers. That's on me. That's a bad that's a bad decision that I made. So we'll see how
Whoa.
that one goes.
Who changed the brand?
Not me.
Oh,
But-
it had to be an AB in the background or something. I don't know what happened there. All right, let's bring it back here. There you go.
Okay.
Back to the action.
Yeah, so on Microsoft, you can see it's waiting for a crack of 109 to the upside. You can see support finally kind of like right around there. So you've actually, I don't mind. Let me see, the market's kind of like, what do I do? I'm going to take a small size. Instead of taking 100 shares, I'm just going to go ahead and go with 50. Now we'll have a stop loss right around here, 307.75s, and see if we can get an upside move to 309.01s. Just want to test this out, right? You've got resistance there. Let's see if it holds its support or not. My entry should have been here, so that's on me for getting a bad one.
Missing out on Success right now, dealing with a little bit of issues here in the back, but I'm starting to see Success rise there. I'm already missing it here, but SQQQs is something that I could add to if I wanted to kind of add to that. It's already up there towards VWAP. I'm going to start looking for some breakdown. I just had Mark. I'm gonna get it. There's some that I have to pay for, some that I don't. So a part of that is I would love to make like a first trade and just use the profits and then affect the capital on the account right now. So that's what I'm looking at right now. So if I can make like that one trade and then pay for some good data sets, I will let you know, Mark, and I'll walk us through that, of course, once I do so.
So that's a pretty neat function. You can pay for some of the additives right out of your account balance.
Yeah, some brokerages would let you do that too. So this isn't the only one, but I will say that that's a nice little feature.
Yeah,
right?
that is nice. You know, the one thing I did notice, we've talked a lot about the positives, and there are many. The only downside that I've seen so far, Tumumu, is it does not appear that you are allowed to trade futures. Now that for me is a non.
All you gotta do is just kind of look. You can get the data at least. You got to pay up for it at least. I'm not sure exactly if we can get some trading action there, but I'm pretty sure we can. It's just more along. I think you have to kind of get some approvals for that. So I'll look into that, Ryan, to see if you want to do some futures action with it.
Yeah, no, no, to me it doesn't really matter. I don't need to pay for that. I don't.
Yeah, I don't trade them
rather
either.
just trade like the S&P analog, like SPY or the SQQQ, like I'm in right now. So to me, that's not even a negative. It's just if you are a futures trader, that might be something to take into account. Now, and the other thing here, while I really do like this platform, I'm not at a position where this is ready to replace Thinkorswim. I have a ton of experience. I have a lot of stuff set up exactly the way that I like. But what I will say is that using the app, both the desktop and the mobile, makes me want to use Mumu more. And I think that that's probably one of the best things that you can say about it. I don't feel put off by the app. I don't want to check it less. In fact, I was actually checking that over my Thinkorswim mobile app while I was enjoying the playoff basketball last night. By the way, Mitch, your Jimmy Butler and your Heat, they got a clear road to the finals now.
Yeah, man, we're gonna battle. We're gonna battle. At least I saw the Celtics lose last night. If the Celtics could be out of it, I think we could get to the finals.
What a game last night. By the way, YGMZ, I'm getting my tickers mixed up here. Went right up to 165, immediately rejected. We did have a good volume pop here, so I don't want to say that this is over yet, but this definitely pulling back. Weifu still kind of building here. Like to see this higher low here. Maybe we actually push through this 560 level on Weifu. You guys were also talking about, or we also had LEGU on the list. This is looking pretty good. This might actually turn back up. This might get crazy. TAN-H from yesterday. This had a huge pop, pretty much all the way back to balance, not really doing anything here on TAN-H. And let me take a look here at Turks. So Turks came right back into that 486. Crow, I think that you called that. We actually pushed back through 552. We're pulling back here again, but again, no lower low here. So this not done yet. We actually might take another run at that 550.
All right, watching Success right at the VWAP.
Oh, yep, there it goes. Trying to break. Let's see what the high here is.
Buddy.
Looks good on Success today.
314s.
Just trying to figure out ways to figure out the volatility that I'm going to need on certain plays, right? So like on Success, like a good position will be like about like 16, 17 shares. And so I need to figure out, is that average true range going to be enough for what I'm looking for? So right now, the average true range on kind of the 1 hour chart is only about 20 cents. So it's 20 cents worth it to me with 17 shares? Not really, right? So I'm going to stay away from that trade and keep looking for trades that make more sense for me.
Bayard saying you can paper trade futures with Mumu, so I reckon you can trade real futures. Mitch will probably figure that out for us. That's a good call here. Just trying to give you knee-jerk reactions to what I see for this broker. And again, so far, lots of good, very, very few, if any, negatives.
Yeah, a lot of analytics that I like, and I'm just getting started into the quant area, and so there's going to be times where I'm going to try to actually code some stuff to actually work for me. It'd be pretty cool to actually see that.
Yeah, if you're interested in
code,
trading,
that's what I heard.
If you're interested in trading futures, there's a link in the chat. You can go ahead and do that. By the way, on this trade here on what is this, QH, I did go ahead and enter with about 300 shares at 303, stop loss 279. Looking to take some gains at 345. We can get the pop above 314, which you can see has been resistance for quite some time.
That seems like that's your regular account, Zunaid?
My apologies. Yes. Yeah. So if I'll go ahead and call it out. Get in the habit of calling it out since we've got a new situation, but thank you for pointing that out.
All right, looking right now at QH, guys. Did I get it?
Yeah, Wilson saying it sucks it's not available in Canada. There was someone else in here that said it's not available outside of the U.S. Here's what I would say about that. With any of these companies, when they have products that are only available in certain zones, be sure to reach out to their company, whether it's their support department or if you can submit feedback or something like that. Be sure to ask. I'm sure these companies, when they see a developing market in other countries, they'll look to expand there. The more of you that do that, I reckon the better it will be.
So close to my Uber profits. Again, I think this went to 305. Our profit target was 306s. They're 3506s. I'm just going to go ahead and close this one out. Don't want to be annoyed if it does go red on me. Going to go ahead and take gains on that one. Microsoft, we did go ahead and add another 50 shares. So our average price is now 308.20s. Stop loss is still going to be 307.75s.
All right, team. I'm in QH here on the small account challenge, baby. Taking a shot here. You guys see it. I just took 30 shares there. QH there at 299. So I got it at 299. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if the QH can get moving here. You guys see the buys right there. So.
I was just gonna shout that out, Mitch. That is one of my favorite things about this platform. You've got two because it shows you when the order was placed and when the order was filled. By the way, Beach Bum telling us that the JOLTS data was light. We have 9 JOLTS job openings for March, 9.59 million versus 9.775 million estimate. So that number is a little bit light. Good call, Beach Bum.
All right. So right now I use this little click thing on the right here of the orders for set follow the price. So I'm following the bid right now on the price action here. So my limit will move with the price action. So of course you got to remember that you got to maybe click this off when you're going to go put in the order, just to kind of give my own little teaching here about how I look at ordering. But now I'm looking for QH to really start getting going here on the hourly. The hourlies are always what I like to look at. Hourly support 269. So the 270 is my out right now, looking for this to really get going through 4. And then maybe we can take some profit at 5. I'm not going to take profit until then because I'm really looking for a nice push. And of course, don't want to be using too many of my day trades unless I need to, right? That's going to be more risk assessment on the outside for the PDT. We'll see what happens. 313 already. Let's get this going, baby.
Mitch, one more thing. If you could click on that screen that you have next to the quantity, you see a little down caret. It's right beneath the set market price button that you just clicked on. It's in that order entry tool. Yeah, if you click that, go down, and then that little caret down, right? Up a little. Down a little. Here? Nope. Right next to in the quantity line.
In the quantity line. All right. So here.
That little down caret. If you click that, it's shortcuts to scale out. Nice. So you can sell half your position max.
What? I like this.
I like it too. I discovered that on the app last night. It exists on the desktop as well. Really, really helpful for your scaling out positions, which we talk about a lot for risk management here.
All right, and what do you see? We're up there to 328 and going. Let's get this moving, baby.
Up.
Let's see what happens. Like always, you guys choose your own investment decisions. This is only for informational purposes. Opinions do not represent those of Benzinga. We'll see what happens today. What you guys, Sinead? You got something going too?
Yeah, we've got, same trade on QH. So my price is a little bit higher than yours. It's 303. I think you got it at 299, but I'm looking to sell at about 345. We'll see if we can go ahead and get up there or not. Currently trading at about 329. A nice little push and a halt up would do wonders. And I'm perfectly okay with staying at 345, even if it doesn't work out, because you see we have a pre-market high of 409s. So we've got plenty of runway in that aspect of it. We'll see if things work out.
All right, going to see if we can really get this moving here and then really get it up there towards the 4. Where can we halt? So halt would be about, I got to go to the 1 minute. Hold on.
Mark, no, I didn't realize 4 a.m. you can trade. So that's awesome. That's actually better availability than my Thinkorswim. I can only start trading at 7 a.m. on Thinkorswim. One thing to note about the SQQQ trade that I'm in, I did take it in the after hours yesterday. So a successful fill in the extended sessions. Here I am trying to close that position in the regular session. So really good stuff there. Did not know about that 4 a.m. It just keeps getting better, folks.
Yeah, nice bottle of wine will do me good, Jay, in the account. So if that's all I get today, I will take my wine, baby, with a little bit of pinkies up. You know how I do things.
Ain't nothing wrong with wine, I'll tell you that much.
Let's do it, baby. All right, Pack W, the next bank to go. Beach Bum Trading putting it out there, and we'll see what happens with regional banks. Financial services down big today. Also energy down big today. Overall, every single sector in the red from the open. All right, now starting to see a little bit of pullback. We got up there to 335s, right? So I'm just keeping an eye on this, really not going too crazy right now. Of course, you guys know where my risk area is, and it really needs to kind of drive higher, right? I mean, about 7, I could get a 7% gain right now if I wanted to. You guys can see it. It's changing right here on the bottom. But I'm not going to go for that. I'm looking for a little bit bigger move. We'll see what happens.
Market moving to the lows here. This is really good for the SQQQ trade. Really want it to break above that 29.32 here and go for a run. That would be great. Remember, I only have 10 shares, right? So I'm really only up about $2.50 here. Yeah. But again, we're working off of an account that started with $500. So I'm okay with this. Maybe we can get this a little bit closer to $10 or something of that nature. But SQQQ looking good here so far.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We got up there to the 35s. Really want to see it get through the 350 spot. 350 is going to be the area where I want to see also volume expansion. We did get volume right there on that recent move. I can see this if I pull the trade window down. Let me just see where we're at right now. Let's actually put VWAP on here. Let's see where that is at. VWAP. Oh, it's right underneath. $3 now. 301. We're not looking too bad there. All right, we'll see what happens if we can take this next step up there in this trade. Also seeing the SQQ trade that I have also on another swing account. That's also working for me. I don't know what your entry is, Ryan. I kind of forgot, but mine's 28.82. Where you're at on the SQQ?
Oh, you got a really good entry. My entry is going to be 29.06. So again, if I do this, perfect. So you can see right here in my broker, 29.06, my average price.
Love it. And we'll see what happens. That's a swing. And I like it because it didn't burn up your PDT, right? And
exactly.
So that's the mentality there of getting around PDT that we're also trying to kind of teach you guys about here, the process approach, right? This is what this stream's all about. If you like early morning trade at 4 a.m., yeah, I'm down to start waking up at 4 a.m.
I mean, I'm good. I like my sleep, and that makes me more productive throughout the course of the day. But if I ever have a reason to use it, it's there for me, and that's what I appreciate.
Yeah, no, also getting out of swings is awesome if you can do it at 4 a.m., especially when you have such a small position, right? If you got a big position, it's really hard to get out in pre-market, but if you got a small one, you might be able to work your way out.
By the way, I'm just going to say, Zunaid, real quick, TIRX still strong, busting to the upside. We caught a winner here. Again, just a reminder, if you took some of this, make sure you book those gains. Zunaid, tossing it to you.
Yeah, someone asked about our QH entry. So for me, it's 303. I believe Mitch has 299, and that's what we've got at the moment. Mitch, your profit target was closer to 5, if I heard correctly.
Yeah, I'm really looking for a 5 move, but it's going to be more about I'm just going to keep watching it, right? Because my big thing is like, I only want to take PDT type of trades off the reward if I get to a certain level, right? And it's all about risk to reward, right? In this case, what am I risking? I'm risking 30 cents, right? So at minimum, what should I be making? I'm looking for 3 to 1s, 4 to 1s, right? So what is that? 30 cents. All right. So I need to make at least like close to $1. So $4 could be maybe the first profit, second profit, anything above that $4 won't be too bad. That's what I'm really trying to keep on. The same way I trade in my other accounts, I got to try to trade in this account that way.
Yeah, for me, I'm waiting for about 345. So if I can get 345, I will be out of this trade. You see a couple of VWAP bounces.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe I do a little morning session beach bum. Who knows? I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, that's all you, pal.
Yeah, I go to sleep early now, guys. I'm not so much of a late night bird anymore.
Yeah, see,
Neither am I. SQQ continuing to work here. You love to see it.
All right, we did get up there. It is starting to pull back here, so we'll see what happens if we can get that next step up, right?
SQQQ really moving here.
All right, just watching that action here today.
On the futures, I think I have a trade. Yeah, I do here. Waiting for it to pop up. So I'm going to look to get 3 micro e-mini contracts in the bigger futures account of mine. See if, well, I say bigger, it's not, but it's not the small account challenge, if you will. So 41, 50, 50. One and got filled with 3 contracts. Stop loss here. Let me go ahead and make sure this is appropriate. There we go. Risking about $60, looking to make about $60. Let's see if we get a bounce here from the 41.50 area.
Yeah, Ryan saying, well, for those of us that wake up at 3:30, Ryan, let me ask you a personal question here. How many times have you woken up at some ungodly hour like 3:30 in the morning and then had to go on a rock march? Just curious. That actually sounds like something that's cool until you realize that they just load your backpack up with rocks and make you walk.
Watching this pullback now, we're getting a decent pullback here. Is this the overall market hurting us? Yes, it is. It's the overall market pulling back significantly here. QQQ, SPY pulling back. I'm keeping my eye on like Apple if they can come back, but it did start to leak. NVIDIA was one that I was looking at earlier at 288. It's already down to 283. That looks like a good short. It's looking like tech is breaking down. Stock test. What a nice move there. That might have been the nice little swing trade. I was looking at this one at 1968, 1970. That's already to 2017 and starting to push. SQQQ's pushing strong. So with that being said, since Oracle is in that tech space and it's not moving here, I'm actually going to cut Oracle at a almost break-even trade. I got 95.07. It's at 94.90s, but there's no reason for me to have it, especially if I'm going to look for the SQQQs to go higher here. So cutting out of the Oracle swing, keeping the SQQQs. Still in this QH here. It's down there towards the 280 levels. I'm still in it. Well, what are you seeing out there, Zunaid? Are you still liking this, or did you bounce out yet?
On QH, my stop loss did go ahead and get hit. It's unfortunate as we did have that 1-to-1 profit met. We did not get it. We tried to go for a 2-to-1, and which did not go ahead and complete a trade. So we did go ahead and take an L on that one. I am out of QH.
All right. Little pullback action now coming back here towards the 280s level. We'll see if it can recover 3 and get right back up there. I'm still in it, team. All right. This is going to be one of those days. We got to stay with it, team. We got to stay with the balance. Stay with it. SoFi in big trouble, says Beans. I'm sure that's probably kept going down. All sectors down. Only healthcare is close to break even. And even that's down now. 0.34 from the open. So it's a red type of day. So be careful out there, team, as we're seeing some leaking. And the SQQQ's working there at least. So that's looking good there. I know that you're feeling a little more confident, Ryan. Killing it, my man.
Feeling pretty good. As always, especially when you're dealing with a small account, what I'm feeling right now is actually, well, gosh, your thesis is playing out. I wish I took more than 10 shares, but I'm reminding myself that risk management is going to be extremely important, especially for the ground floor of the small account challenge. So to me, if SQQQ can actually get to 30.06, which is a full point above my entry, I will close that trade here.
I'm keeping a close eye on what happens here in QH. Don't want to see it kind of break down through the 270s levels. We'll find out what happens.
We're as high as 29.56 on the SQQQ trade. We'll see if we make another push towards the highs. Market really, really weak here. One of the things that I'm noticing here is we're getting extended away from VWAP. And when you notice, one of the things that I've noticed when trading some of these ETFs is that the further you get away from VWAP, the higher the likelihood that it likes to pull back here. So we'll see if we end up doing that here. I'm still in it. I definitely want to take gains. I don't want the trade to go red at me, but I suspect that this might just be a little bit of a market bounce.
Wait
By
to
the way,
see. Good.
I was going to say, leaving the screen up and just switching to it, is that fixing the blurriness problem?
I think so. I think somewhat. Okay. Let me see if I just go straight to. I mean, it's still not perfect, but I'd say it's a little better.
Okay.
We'll work on it, team, like always, right? That's what it's about. 2%
trying to get better, man. That is my motto. 2% better every day.
That's it. I literally quote Ryan on that one, like almost like at least once a week. My boy Ryan.
I'm honored to hear that.
Yeah, I actually do, man. I say it all the time now.
It's just a life philosophy. It's not even just a work philosophy. Just always trying to get better at whatever it is that I'm doing. Man. Golf, work, person, doesn't matter.
That's life. I love it, man. Love it. FAZ pushing Matt says, yeah, definitely. That was one of the ones top watch today. I talked about it on pre-market prep, how you could be looking at FAZ, and it was a really nice setup off the kind of the flagging action here out the gates. I'll show you guys that pattern right now. I'm keeping an eye out on, of course, what's going on, but look at that FAZ. Nice move there. Financials going lower. Nice move there. You could have been playing there to the upside. Big push there from around 2060s up to 2146 now. We'll see what happens.
Smoke Tuna saying, check out LXEH. This actually looking pretty good here. I know we came all the way back in with a bunch of halts, but it is looking like we're trying to curl back up here. High of 269, currently at 167. So a pretty decent range there if this can end up taking off.
All right, want to see some volume increase now and come back through 3 here for QH. If that could happen, it won't look too bad. If it does cut down through the 270s, might have to use one of my PDTs and get the heck out. That's what it's about. That's what I like using the PDT. So I think about it in risk sense, right? Yeah. A lot of the times for me, it's not necessarily that I want to take quick rewards in this account. I want to be always also keeping in mind risk management is first in this account. No matter what, we can't be over risking here because that starts to ruin what? Your profit to loss ratio, right? The idea is to keep probability in my favor, not against me.
Market looking like it's trying to bounce here. Makes me wonder if the down move here is a bit exhausted. Mm-hmm. Still in the QQQQ, or the SQQQ. Currently looking at this, I've got a unrealized gain of about $4 on my 10 shares. So I'd like that to be a little bit higher here, but I certainly don't want to give it all back.
So, of course, you guys can see that here, the redness in the market, right? You can also see here the S&P 500 index. You can see how this has been going lower. NASDAQ has been going lower. And we're seeing a lot of kind of declining action right now. Between 3%, you're seeing how many stocks? Negative. A lot right there, right? From 0 to 3% down, you're seeing more declining action right now. So keep your eyes on that. We'll see what happens there. Another thing that I want to show you guys, and we'll talk a little bit about this later because I'm in this trade that I'm trying to focus on, is this strategy section here. Look at this, Ryan. You're going to go crazy for this. You go to explore, you go to the top, you hit strategy selection. You can see things that had bull flags, and it actually gives you the stocks. It gives you return, cool. Historical outlook here, team. Check it out. Of course, you guys know it. Moo, you guys know. I'm actually blown away by this one. This right here made me yesterday I was just playing with it all day. I was just like, ooh,
I
I want
love
to
it.
check out this. I want to check out that. It's pretty cool. We'll find out.
That is pretty cool. I like that feature there. Let's see if the SPY can go ahead and hold itself here at the 412 level, or if it's going to continue cracking.
Kraken?
Cracking to the downside. We'll see if it holds. Uber kind of holding on tight to about the 35 area.
Yeah. Doing pretty decent now, up about 2.3% there on the SQQQs. But I want to see this QH go higher, right? That's what I'm really focusing on. The big thing for me is just focusing on the hourly outlook here. Hourly outlook is why I took the trade. We'll find out what happens.
YGMZ breaking out. Great call, Matt. This is one of the stocks that we were looking at. Remember, it ran up to that 165, came back in. In fact, let me, I think my VWAP disappeared off here. Let me go ahead and add VWAP to this chart. Came right back into that, pushed away from it. We're knifing now, but we did take out two. I would say that if the volume, if we get more volume pops, or if this volume sticks around, this actually might not be done. Nice break here through 165. If I was in this stock and either of my accounts would have taken the gains on that pop up through two. Nice little scalp there.
Yeah, I like that little down carrot that you taught me about, Ryan. That was dope.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Like I said, they thought about features that actual traders use. You know, we're here sitting, we're talking about strategy, we're talking about shaving some of your position, booking gains, and then there are features in the platform designed to help you do that. And to me, that's really, really cool.
Yep. And the sliding feature too. I like their little sliding bar.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
all I had to do was learn how to use, and that's one of the other things when you're learning a new platform. I say this about every platform. Push through that learning curve, because a lot of the times you'll discover something that you didn't know was there, and it's actually really a helpful feature or tool, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. So I encourage everyone to do that.
All right, drawing it out how I see it here. So pretty much you see the furthest support, and we're somewhere in between this window, stuck between 382s and 240s. So just keeping a close eye to see if the action can bring it back to 3. And look at the buying pressure that's coming in now on the order book. So you can see here also how this starts to stack up versus the right-hand side. You can see how very low and barely volume that's there. We'll see when this starts to move. If it can get into the 3s, I'm going to look to see if there's a big selling order there through the 3s for a wall to get through. We'll find out.
Ryan saying, Ryan, let me ask you, how many times have you woken up at 3:30 to go on a rock march? Ryan, 0. Thankfully, I've heard the stories. I'm not sure I would be capable of that. That's done for people that are much tougher than I am.
All right, I do want to address the comment really quickly in the chat. Pat M, a little bit upset that we're mentioning Moo this morning. It's okay. Guess what? At the end of the day, this is an absolutely free stream, right? You guys don't pay a single dime for it. At the end of the day, Benzinga has to make some money, right? So we are going to be sponsored by certain shows, but that's how we keep this free for you guys, right? That's what it's about. That's what we're about. We're about learning process approach. So if you don't like that, hey, don't let the door hit you, my friend. We'll keep it rolling.
And the other thing here is, just so you guys are aware, when we do have these sponsorships, we don't have any guidelines on what we need to say.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
If this platform was, then guess what? You'd be hearing me say that, but it isn't. And the fact is that there's actual things in here to help traders, and that's what our entire mission is about. So we're going to give it to you straight, no matter what we think about this. This just happens to be quite a nice surprise here. By the way, speaking of quite a nice surprise, SQQQ popping to the highs here, 29.70, the high print that I have. Again, we'll see if we can close in on that 30 handle. Market really, really weak here. At some point, I'm going to have to take these gains.
I love to hear it, man. And there's nothing wrong with it now, because at least it won't cost you, right? And it pushes you forward. That's what it's all about. Let's keep pushing.
You've got QH that's looking to get past VWAP and $3. Uber still holding on to the 34.80s.
All right, I'll put you up, Zined. You're up.
Yeah, you see the little trend line there, still holding that.
Oof. Yeah, the SQQQ is popping, man. I see it, Ryan.
I like it.
I'm almost to first profits. I'd be looking, this is for start swing trade show, that I'm looking for 4%, and I'm at 3% right now. Just
hey, all right. But you know what I like about that, Mitch, is that even though you're seeing this spike, you're relating back to your initial trade plan, which you had when you actually took that.
Yeah.
And to me, that's important. That shows me that you're actually trading a processed approach, which is exactly what we're talking about. Sometimes when I'm scalping, because things are moving around so quick and the duration of the trade from the onset is so short, I end up not following my process all the way through. For example, I get a 15-cent pop. It feels a little heavy. Maybe I was looking for a quarter. I take the gains and I wait for it to reset. When it comes to swing trading, I think it's actually more important that you stick to your plan, because oftentimes there's a bunch of research that has gone into that plan and you don't want to sell yourself short.
Love it. And we'll see what happens here. Like always, we're going to keep battling team to see what we can get into. And we'll see if the market can bounce, right? I mean, market is just dipping team. And a lot of that, look at that NVIDIA's going down, right back down to 284s. AMD that has earnings today, it tried to get back to the 90s, now right back to 89. Even Meta, that did a nice little pop, kind of like a little bit of a bull trap there towards the 245 as that comes back down. I'll see if they can bounce, but right now it isn't looking good.
LXEH, we talked about pros telling me that we're getting ready to pop through that VWAP. This actually might be a play here on a break through this. If I had over 25K in the small account, I would be stalking entry on this, but I don't really want to burn a day trade today, especially with an overnight swing that's working in my favor. I simply just want to manage that trade here. Get some more gains. Again, there's no shame in hitting singles. I know when you start with a small account, you see people posting on Twitter about taking 10,000 share lots and making all this money, and you want to do the same. And I get it. And I do too. I'd love nothing more than to grow this account at an exponential rate. But hitting singles is going to make it a little bit more of a process for me. Should be easier to get up there.
Yeah, that's why you'll see a lot of times we won't use all the capital. What you got, Junaid?
I'm going to try to get back in here on 305 on QH. Stop loss going to be 279. It's going to be my last time on this one. This is going to be on the bigger account. We'll see if it works out, but just wanted to show you all that's the trade that I've got. I did also go ahead and put up a long on the, was it the Qs? Or excuse me, was it the SPY or was it? Oh, there it is. But this one's going to wait and see if it wants to test the 411.75. But the main thing for me is going to be this QH to focus in on.
Yeah, that's why my hands are getting off here as I start seeing it come back through 3, right? We'll see if it really takes off now. Can we get this moving? You guys see the trend line that I'm looking at? That's the move back through the 338s into the 340 level. And that's going to be very important when we get to that 340s. I'll be looking to see what happens there. Do we get more volume expansion? And we are getting it right now.
All right, there's 313.
Let's use a MACD. I haven't used a MACD in a while here, so let's see what happens. See
There's
if we
a
can
pop
get expansion.
above 314 now, looking to make a push above 320s, 317s at the moment. 330s where we're looking to take our gains. That is when we want the one trade.
I like the outlook there. At least you see Junaid, he's ready for it. We'll find out what happens here. As you see, Junaid takes profit, and hopefully it just pushes through 350. We'll see it. I'm down, Crow. I can eat some grilled shorts for breakfast.
Come on.
Small banks getting smoked, says Webcoin. That is not what we want to see. That could continue hitting the market, I feel like. And that's why I was feeling like the market could turn around a little bit today. And did it? Boy, did it turn around. It's down to 411s now. Definitely seeing destruction in energy, financial services, and industrials. And to tell you the truth, basic materials is not too far behind there. Communication services, everything deep into the red. We're seeing a complete turnaround here. And that's helping my SQQ trade here. But we'll see what happens here on the QH trade. Definitely a turnaround in the market.
Likewise, an at highs here for the SQQQ. Just set a new high here for the SQQQ. This is working out very, very well so far. I guess knock on wood before I end up closing that trade. But we'll be looking to take gains if this keeps moving here. Again, one of the other things is that as far away from the VWAP as we are, that's what you see right in here, right? Here's your VWAP. Here's the current price. As this extends, as a trader, it makes me want to take those gains more and more because, again, I expect a regression back to this VWAP line at some point today, even if the market maintains weakness.
You do have what do you call it? Disney, I'm looking to take at 103, about 300 shares, stop loss about 22 cents to the downside and upside profit targets. QH still just kind of hanging out there at break even. We were up about 14 cents or so, but that wasn't enough to take profit. So we'll see how that trade works out.
So where are traders lining up to sell? What I look at is I'll look at the book, right? And I can show you guys this right here. I'll put my screen up here. So you can go into the book, you put it on the right side, you click 60 so you can see down the book, right? And so you can see here at 335 is already in 1,000 share order to sell. This is why I also don't like to put out orders immediately to sell and just have them sitting out there because people can see them just like I can see this order just sitting there, right? So there's an order at 335. There's an order where at 350s. Things that make sense, right? Look for bigger orders there to kind of show you, especially if they make sense where it's looking at. But here we're getting another decline right back into the 290s. We got to be careful as we see this pullback. The market, I think, is not helping us. That's really what it's a little bit affecting. Of course, this is a smaller name, but we're not seeing like stocks like rip through the moon today. So we got to be a little bit careful on some of the smaller names. Looking at like IWM, you can see a lot of destruction there. And we're not seeing like stocks up like 100%, right? 200%, something like that. That's what I wanted to see for like stocks that want to rip. One that's interesting that is up today is a little bit of Workhorse, but I'm not paying attention to that team. It is up though today.
We'll see if our Disney gets filled at 100. Another area to keep in mind might be the 410 on the SPY.
See if I can get that lunch, man. Just sticking in. A lot of the times what I'm using now is just the hourly or the 15-minute on like a trade like QH because it helps you get around the volatility of the 1-minute candle. The 1-minute candle, a lot of the times I feel like in these types of trades can make you too emotional. And so that's why I'm looking at 5 or 15. I have the 15 on the screen here. And the big reason why I don't want to get too emotional in the trade, I just want to follow the price action.
See if I can feel that 410.04s.
Man, the leak is serious out there.
Sure is. Just riding this momentum here. We are short in the small account challenge here. So we're just riding this momentum. Really, another really quick thing I want to shout out here. My buy and sell buttons are now unlocked. But before you make your first trade, these are locked for me. And I have to actually enter my PIN in order to unlock it. I love this because I have a cat that loves to jump up on my desk and sometimes mash key buttons. And this stops him from making a trade, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, you can lock it up right quick.
How do you relock it? I guess that would be my question.
Top, there's a little lock bar by the headphone.
Oh. Lock trade. Yeah. So this is what let me show you. This is what I was talking about. Here's my order entry, but I can't do anything right now because my trade is locked. I cannot execute orders. What I have to do is click unlock trade. That pops up another window that you can't see. And I just have to go ahead and enter my PIN to unlock that trade. Good stuff, Mitch. Thank you.
Yeah, I did the same earlier. So I unlocked it and put it back. So that's what it's all about, team. Got to know how to work your tools, man. Know how to work your tools. That's one thing that we're going to completely be able to teach by using Moomoo, right? Is showing you that if you know how to use your tools, you're not going to freak out at moments that are very important. A lot of bid coming in here now on this trade on QH. So I'm looking for that nice little quick pop to 340s. If I can get it, I'll feel really confident for a sell above 350s going into the 4. We'll see if we get it today. 30 cents risk. Let's see if we can get 90 cents on the upside. So that's one thing that I try to do is I try to give myself a little room too. Because I can't. You guys see Zune trade 1-to-1. I'll tell you right now, I'd be pretty sucky if I did 1-to-1.
Yeah, and it's also different, right? Because you're looking at a smaller account challenge. So if in that case you're taking stock, yeah, you'd want to get a little bit more juice out of it. By the way, you've got Uber now trying to make a push.
No,
It's
but
been
just goes to show
stagnant as
you,
this
right?
high's been coming down.
I think it goes to show you, right? Because you guys see Zunaid nail a lot of trades here, right? So it just goes to show you that you got to find what works for you, right? That's what matters, right? For me, 1-to-1, I tried it. It didn't work. It didn't work for me. And so I moved up the ladder. I said, can I do 2-to-1? 2-to-1 worked pretty decently for me, but I was kind of more break even on the 2-to-1s. When I started working to 3-to-1 and 4-to-1 outlooks, that's when I started really making a step up. That's what helped me become into the green, right? Was really trying to find where my profit and loss ratio truly makes sense to give me what? Mathematical advantage. Not skills advantage, mathematics on my side. Need the odds, man. You got to play the odds. That's what it's all about. Back here to 307 here on QH. Can we take off and get to the 340s, 350s? Really keeping focused on this. I could take some other trades. I do have the other account where the SQQQ's trades are on, and that's at 3.47%. So we might just get the full profits of 4% today and take that money and run. We'll see what happens on that.
We are approaching my first exit target was 30.06. We are only 20 cents away from that. I will let you know if we end up getting that. That's what I'm currently targeting now. Now, Mitch, one of the things that you had said is you don't like putting your orders out there. That's exactly what's going on right now. I have not put my order out. I'm noting the spot where I actually want to close this trade for a profit. I have not put a limit order out there. I'll just take it if and when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, QH.
ADW. ADW, how do you do an OCO in Mumu? I'm not actually sure yet. I think it's the attached order function. That would be my guess. Take a look at that in the order entry tools. Here's where I'm looking at that. I think it's this, but I haven't done one yet. So I'm not, let me get this. It's this right down here, I believe.
You got the attached order there. That will give you stop losses, brackets, profit taker order.
That's going to be.
So there you guys have that. And of course, time in force, you can go to good to cancel if you wanted. And in session, also make sure that you got pre and post selected if you want to trade those pre and post hours, not just regular trading hours. But we'll find it all, right? And I think that, you know, someone was asking where can you cancel orders? So the best place to go for that is to go to your actual trade window on the top on the left. So you go to your trade window and you're going to have this right here, right in the front. So you see how I failed to buy the first two? Why? I had the same thing that Ryan hit yesterday, a little bit of a blocker for trading penny stocks. At first I was like, man, why is it blocking my order? Well, simple as that, right? It was a little bit of a kind of a warning, like, hey, do you really want to trade penny stocks? And I was like, yeah, I do. Let's do this. So I clicked the disclosure, and then now I got access. Then boom, was able to get the fill, right? And I think that that's what matters. And you can see it there. 298 is the actual fill there. I thought it was 299. It's 298. I put 298 on the limit. That's why I was wondering if it said 299. But it did say it on the first thing, but now you can clearly see that right there, right?
Yep. And real quick, just an update here on mine. I'm looking at the same screen that Mitch's. You can see I've got a pending sell order for SQQQ, looking to dump the entire 10 share position. Order price 30.06. That was the target that we discussed here. So we'll see if we end up getting that here. My sell order is out.
On the right side of that same little window, Ryan, you have a cancel all. All cancel. I have it to the right.
All cancel right here. So it's just off the screen. This is it.
If you just want to just cancel all orders that are out there, you can just hit that.
That's good to know. That's really good to know.
That's what it's about, team. Just learning how to use the tool, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you see us learning here, and we'll keep it going. All right, kicking it to you, Zunaid. What are you seeing, my friend?
Yeah, just kind of hanging out in QH on this side of things. I do have my SPY trade that I mentioned I would take at 410s. I do have that. Stop loss is going to be about 50 cents below, looking to get about 80 cents to the upside. But I am going to head out and get ready for our interview later on today with BioLargo, which is going to be around 11 o'clock. So I will see y'all there.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you in a little bit, Zunaid. No stress. All right, putting Junaid in the background. He'll be back in just a few minutes. Ryan will be here too. You guys see his screen. He just stepped away, but I got this. I'm going to take a look at what's going on in the market, taking a look at QH, of course. I'll keep watch on that. I'm going to keep watching that on the right-hand side here, and we can take a look at the market, right? So what I'll do is I'm just going to watch it on my other charting here. I'll keep a close eye on it. I'm actually going to move down to the 5 to just kind of watch it a little bit here, see if it takes off. But let's go towards the market overall. Let's take a look at what stocks are moving today, what isn't, right? I want to go ahead and go to the charts so you guys can see what is up. And it looks like some gold mining plays coming up here, rum coming up here. And you guys talked about rum just a few minutes ago here. I saw in the chat some mention there. I think it was Jay that was mentioning it. Gold definitely getting a nice little lift here. I keep an eye on some gold plays today. They did pull back yesterday. Now starting to get a nice little lift. You can also see how some of these stocks are definitely coming down here. Fuel cell was a little bit of a decent move. Now starting to come back. We'll see if that takes another step up here. Amazon still in the green. Will that turn into the red? That's one thing to keep an eye out for today. I can clearly see that. And just rolling through here. That's why I like just going through. Johnson & Johnson looks good here, team. This is one that I wanted to keep an eye on. So let's actually go to that chart really quickly. You can see it's bouncing off the VWAP right now as we speak. Doesn't look too bad. Nice little pullback day yesterday. Now looking strong here. Johnson & Johnson having a decent day. And healthcare is kind of your leading sector today, even though that leading is not really a definition I would use because it's down 0.5%. So let's go back. We'll go back to the QH, just looking around here to see what's going on, team. Just seeing if we can get the lift there through the 340s and take our first trade. And one thing that I'm liking is what I'm doing. I'm just sticking to the plan, right? I'm not trying to overreact to the sideways action.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I'm fighting right now here. You know, we are elevated, we are extended from the VWAP here. I'm not very far from my first profit target, but part of me is wondering if I should just book the gains now, right? That's the emotion that I'm dealing with. We're not even talking about a lot of money, right? We're talking about, I got what, almost $10 worth of gain here on this small little trade, but it's a nice swing from last night.
All right. I did get a question here in the chat that I think you can answer, Ryan. Austin wants to know a little bit more about what the SQQQ is.
Sure. So what the SQQQ is a ETF that I can buy to the long side that mimics downside price action. In other words, as the market trades down, the price of the SQQQ ETF goes up. This allows me to actually not short in order to capture a market decline. Instead, I can actually just buy something and trade it to the long side like I'm accustomed to doing. This is very, very helpful for my plan because shorting is not part of my trading thesis, nor is it part of my trading strategy. However, I got to be able to play stocks in the market when they go up or down. So here, thinking that the market was going to go down, the play is SQQQ. The inverse of that ETF is TQQQ. That works the opposite. It goes up as the market goes up.
There you go. And like always, you got to check them out, learn a little bit more about it. If you've never heard it before, Austin, so you got to be careful. That's one thing we'll definitely say. And like always, if you have questions, feel free to ask. That's what we're here for.
Jay, I left this out. This is a really, really important part of why I'm selecting this. The SQQQ is the 3x levered product. So that means I'm going to get leverage by buying this instrument as opposed to just buying something that's 1-to-1. This is 3-to-1. Jay, thank you for that.
All right, so you see what I was talking about earlier about orders that you get put out there because someone's looking to get the hell out. Well, look how there's an order sitting up here now at 319 at 3,696 shares. So he probably got like a 4,000 share position, but only got 3,696 shares filled there. And he's trying to get the hell out above towards 319. Who knows? Maybe I caught Zunaid. I'm sure he's laughing in the back there. But who knows if that's Zunaid or not. But I can tell you right now, there's someone there that when this pops through 319, I'm going to look to see if we can blow through him. 3,696 shares sitting at 319 there.
Christoph saying the banking issue is bringing some fear to the market. I would agree with this. Again, it's not just the regionals. Just look at BLK today. This action here today shows me that more banks are at risk of failing. At least that's what the market's telling me here today.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. I was talking about it with Dennis today, and Dennis and I were starting to lean a little bit to neutral to bullish side, I would say. And then now with this bank concern coming back, I'm with Dennis, and you have to really think about it. He's not necessarily bearish here, but he's also very concerned about what's going on in regional banks and if there's going to be more disaster coming through. I want to see if that 319 order, as we get closer to the 319, does he just pull it off? That would actually help it blow through 319. We'll see what happens there. So a lot of time people say that people don't spoof orders. I would say otherwise. But hey, to each his own, right? All right, the battle's on right now. Still can't get Q8s to really take off here, right? I could just take the 3% gain right now, but what would that give me? It's going to give me nothing on the return here. The key is sticking to the risk and reward. That's what I'm trying to do.
SQQQ looks like it's trying to make
almost
another
there,
push
man.
here.
Almost there for me, Ryan. I got 3.89. We're almost there. Through the 30s here, I'll probably just take the profit here for the SQQs. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on, team. I've been enjoying it today. I hope you guys are enjoying it today. And like always, you guys are seeing it right here. If you guys are interested in Moomoo, go ahead and check it out. Like always, the benefit it has to offer. Click the link in the description below. And of course, you'll be able, if you deposit, you have an ability to earn up to 15 free stocks. All right, 306 here on the QH. We've been looking for this to get through that trend line, right? I'm going to expand this trend line here to go a little bit further. That'd be that push through 336 now instead of the 340s. Let's see if we get that push. 315s here. You see the 319 order? Let's see if we smack through him as we get right to that. I'm going to look. It's going to be important to see that he gets filled there. And boom, he can get out and I can just watch this get through, because after him, I don't see big orders until pretty much all the way down there towards 350. So I think that would be the next move. So maybe at 350s, I got to be a little bit careful that we run into a wall, but we'll see what happens.
Hawaii Rise says, amazing day today. Steak dinner, baby. We love to hear it. Community out here just ripping stuff up. Mitch, SQQQ approaching this 30 handle. Let's see if we pop through. My sell order is at 30.06. Really hope I don't Zunade this and get it within 1 cent of it.
Mine's at 30.02. I'll try to get out with you, Ryan. We could take a little swing action. It's kind of funny. Ryan and I took he told me that he was into SQQQs, and I was like, oh, Ryan, I did the same. I think it's funny when traders like that.
I do too. I was the reason I announced it to you is I was really, really happy. Took another trade in the small account challenge. And the great part was that this was not going to be a day trade, right? This was not going to be something that I was going to burn. I'm going to be able to take it to overnight. Here we are. We're managing this trade here today. One more push up ought to do it here on SQQQ. Let's see if we break through this 30 handle. This has been a great trade from yesterday's after hour session.
Hawaii, I'll talk a little bit about that. I'm just still focusing on the trade right now, but definitely the idea here of the small account challenge is not for you guys. I do want to mention that, Hawaii. It's not that we don't want you involved. It's that our idea is not to make it like a competition, right? This is not what this is. This is for you guys to kind of learn from Ryan, Zunade, and I about how we can go about our own small account, right? And so I think that this is more about processed approach, not necessarily about that Ryan, Zunade, or I are going to flip this to 30,000 by next month. That's not what it's about, team. We're going to keep working it up and ladder it up. I got no problem continuing to ladder it up and keep pushing to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, and this challenge is for the month of May. The reality is if I don't make a complete mess of this account, we can keep going, right? We can keep going.
Got the pop. 335
let's go
here.
through 30 here. We need to pop through 30.
All right, let's see what can happen now. Now we're really starting to rock here. 336 showing up. There's the big order at 340s. We're blowing through him right now. You saw it get filled there. Boom. Now we're at 342s. The next stop there is 350s. That's where the big orders are sitting right now. Let me see if we can get to that 350 spot. If we can get through that 350 spot, I see 4. So let's see if we get there. 341s now. Could take the profits here. It's an 11% gain here, but I'm looking for a little bit more. Maybe I'm being a little bit greedy. Of course, what is staying in my mind? Profit to loss ratio. Mitch, you said 90 cents on the upside. We got to get close to that. If not, I'm not sticking to my mathematical probability. Out of the SQQQ's trade there. Boom, I got hit there. I don't know about you, Ryan. You're close.
30.02 is hit. We're moving through 30.02. Let's see if we can get 30.06 here. We're only a couple of cents away.
Feel free to put your screen up if you want, Ryan. I'm just kind of watching this QH here.
So this is what I'm looking at here. Here's the pending sell. We will see if this changes.
There's 44 showing up for QH. Can we get to the 350 spot? Taking a look at it. Let's go. Let's see if I can get a little bit of some money today. All right, there's 340. It's battling in here. There's not much bid action down towards 331s. So that's the reason why I'm not seeing the quick raise here. You can see the demand side dropped off here. So that's a very important outlook to see. Now it's all about, do we get through the 350s? If not, I think we could pull back here. So keeping a close eye here on the ramp up.
And I with each passing moment here, I feel more and more like I'm going to get zunated, and it's not going to quite go to my limit, and I'm going to end up, getting stuck in it. But we'll see. We'll see.
It's okay. You can always. One thing I think is very important is being able to adjust and understanding when I might be being a little bit greedy, right? Like you heard me right now. I want to get close to 90 cents. That doesn't mean that I have to get 90 cents on the key. Let's say if I got 86, 84, I would still be happy, right? And I think that at some point you need to try to figure it out, right? Why is the feed so blurry? I don't see it blurry right now. Let me see. That looks pretty clean to me, but you guys let me know what you guys are seeing.
Yeah, on my end, it looks completely clear. Sorry about that if it's not. Again, still working through the sharing capabilities here.
All right, pull back there from the 340s really quickly down on the QH. You can see the demand side just dropped off a cliff there. So I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm still up 11% on the position. Just looking to see if we can reload here, find some bidding action, and get back through that 350. We ran into some sellers at the 340s. So that's really where I'm looking to see what happens. And now you see a 5,000 order sitting there at 349. That's going to be the area where it's going to struggle, because there's also another order right behind it at 350 with 3,000 shares. So now when we get up through that 350, it's going to be very vital to see it just continue through it. If it stops there, I might just take the profit and run. So we just got to be smart now, right? I'm not going to let this trade turn into a loser now, as we were up about like 12%. So I got to just be smart, keep holding. VWAP is coming higher and higher back towards like 304s. So at least in my mentality, I can even let it go back to entry and break even out, just focusing on trying to get that bigger gain here. It's working. Just got to keep watching the favor. There's the SQQQs, the 30.03s. We'll see if Ryan can able to get his take also.
30.06 still sitting on the ask there. We'll see if we get filled. Here we are pushing up to it. One more push and we should be out.
There's a big order there on the bid side there. 7,000 shares at 330s. I want to see if this can push up there.
The high is literally 30.05. So far we are in getting zunated territory. We'll see if we end up pushing to 30.006 or 30.06. Come on. We need one more little pop here. Just a little guy.
Top right now on the intraday action for QH up there to 345. Crow, you in on this action?
There it is. We are filled, folks. Order is filled. We have completed another trade here in the small account challenge, getting $10. There's 10 shares of SQQQ. The best part about this, I know the gains are not terribly impressive. The thesis worked out, and we took this yesterday, so we did not burn a day trade. We are ready to go. The small account grows, folks. Let's do it.
Boom shakalaka!
That's my boy. Boom, 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 boom. My boy Ryan coming through.
we
2
having
for
fun.
2. 2 for 2, baby.
We having fun.
Money, 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 money. The crow says, you know it, bro. Come on, I'm focused here. I know how that is, man.
Thank you for all the congrats out there, folks. By the way, SQQQ continuing higher here. But here's the thing. After watching this, and after having a plan and watching the plan execute, not getting zunated, pretty awesome. Feeling pretty good here. So in 2 days, we've bumped the account up, what, 11% in 2 days?
Not bad. Not bad, my friend. Not bad. All right. So one thing that I'm watching now also for the momentum play on QH, what do I talk about often? And I love to call this out because you guys keep us honest. If you guys hear me not talk about this often, call me out on it. But I talk about it often. What? The 9 EMA for momentum plays, right? And so I look at that often for looking to plays. And so you can do this very simply. You can just add the EMAs here and click it on. I'm going to take off the MACD so we can see that. And you can see how the action is really sticking close to the lower EMAs, like the EMA 10 and the EMA 5. EMA 10 right now is towards 301. So as long as I can keep holding, I'll be feeling confident about this right now. And that's off the 15-minute. If we go closer to the 1, that's really where you're going to see it hold a little bit closer now. And I can show you that right there. You can see how this curled on that blue line. And that's what I'm looking for it to kind of keep holding here. Now we're at 354s. There we go. Volume coming in. We're hitting those big orders. We blew through those big orders. Now we're at 355s. Can I get into the 380 handle? 380s, I'm just going to take it, team. I don't want to get too greedy on the first trade here. So if I can get 380s, I don't mind getting the hell out. All right, as we get into the 60s and the 70s, I'm going to put this order out there. 63s, I'm looking for the 70, and then I'll put the order out there. I wait until I get closer to the order because if I put it out too early, the other traders are going to see it. So hands on the trigger to hit the sell button, right? And you see me set up the limit right there, 380s.
And while we wait for Mitch to get his fill here, TIRX holding its gains here. Actually looks like it might be setting up for another push here. You really want to make sure we don't knife back to VWAP, so be careful with TIRX, but this was another winner right off the list. YGMZ did give us a scalp through 165, although that's kind of broken back down here. We'll see where that kind of materializes. And SECO giving us a nice little pop here as well, pushing up towards that 140 level.
Too many sellers in the 350 areas. I could see them loading in there, and now they're kind of set up above here towards 367, 4,000, 3,000 shares. So definitely some resistance above us in the 350s and the 370s. We'll see if we get through that. I'm still in the trade, but watching also the level 2s to kind of see where the bigger orders and the bigger traders are trying to get out of. They put their positions a lot of the times way out in front. And so I'm trying to see that. And a lot of the times I can expect almost looking for the price action to struggle there. And you can see we got up to 350s. They put the orders right back into the 360s and they did get their fills. So they're out of the trade and I'm trying to let this keep going. Just got to keep watching on it. At this point, I won't lose on the trade, but I'm really looking for that nice little push into the 380s so I can get the hell out of this trade and celebrate a nice win. All right, but it's 10:57. In a few minutes, we will be switching over to all access. So if I'm not able to show you guys the end of this play, you guys can keep up with me. I will make sure that I talk about it on my Twitter. You guys can add me at MoneyMitchBZ. I will try to do my best to go ahead and explain it there, exactly what happens. Of course, we're trying to show you guys these trades during this stream, but if something does happen, you guys can stay with us on our Twitter and definitely give us a follow.
Yeah, Ryan, thanks for joining us again, and thanks for your service as always. Have a great day, my man. We will see you tomorrow. Mitch, I think that's what I'll start doing. If I make any new trades in the small account challenge, I'll go ahead and tweet those. And then that way, like, for example, SQQQ, which I took right after the market closed yesterday, we don't have a show at that point. We'll go ahead and have the tweet log of that. So I'll start doing that too. I think that's a great idea.
Love it, guys. And that's what it's all about. And I hope you guys continue to learn from us on processed approach. It's not about how we trade, because at the end of the day, we're not trying to show you guys that this is the only strategy that works, right? It's not, you don't hear, hey, this is the non 100% accurate strategy. That's not what we're here for, team. We're here to give you guys how we go about this. And definitely If you guys want to check it out, go ahead and do so yourself.
Yep.
All right, we're
And
going to be switching over here to All Access in just about a minute or two. Any wrap up you got, Ryan?
no, at this point, I'm just going to be watching some of the earnings. Remember, we talked about there are some bigger earnings today. AMD, Ford, and Starbucks are what I'm going to have most of my attention on. I definitely want to see, does the market bounce? Where does it stop? Where does it kind of set up? And we might have another play to talk about here tomorrow. So I basically want to see what the market does and how it actually holds up. We'll be right back at this game here tomorrow.
Love it. Love it. You guys smash the like. We'll be back tomorrow. Definitely stick with us and find out what happens in trades like this. And we'll continue pushing to the next level. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bring on my man Zunaid as we switch on over. Let me go ahead and take down my little QR code, switch us over to the next brand here. As we get over to the All Access, I'll let you take over, Zunaid, and get to the stories behind. That's what it's all about here, right? We always like to learn from news stories. Zunaid's got a new one for us, and we'll find out. BLGO. You guys check it out.
Appreciate you, Mitch. And yeah, as always, All Access is designed for you to go ahead and ask your questions in the chat and get your questions answered directly from the executives. And that's what we've got here today as well. We'll be having a conversation with Dennis, who is the president and CEO of BioLargo, ticker BLGO. All Access starts right now. Dennis, welcome back.
Zunaid, what's up? Dennis Calvert.
How are you?
Life is so good. I have to pinch myself.
Amen to that. Look, we've got a lot of things to talk about, to dive into the deep nitty gritty things. But before we start, though, for the folks that may not have heard our conversations before, explain it to me like I'm five. What is it that your company does?
Well, we call ourselves a innovator and solution provider. We've been innovating for almost 15 years. We got 8 technologies, a whole bunch of platforms. We're also a full service engineering firm. So the combination is pretty unique and it's powerful in the marketplace because we can solve problems that other people can't even think about, really. So clean air, clean water, cleaner earth, all sustainable. We've got 2 big commercial initiatives that are moving the needle for the company. And as we say, there's a lot more coming too. So it's a great time to take a look at the company.
Yeah, what's really fascinating to me is the fact that you have science and business kind of need to go hand in hand for your company to be successful, for it to be profitable, and driving the revenue. So can you tell me a little bit about your management team, especially how you integrate that science and business aspect of things?
Yeah, it's critical, of course, right? So all things sustainable, and sustainability really relies on good for people, good for the planet, and good for commerce. And so I'm the guy that checks the commerce side, right? Make sure that we've got a chance to go in and actually make money doing something great for customers and great for the planet. And so that's really critical. And then in each of the operating units, we have specialists. These specialists either became specialists because they spent years preparing, or they're highly trained. So we have a company of about 8 PhDs and, 12 and plus 20 subcontracting engineers. And so it's like a think tank of talent, all disciplines covered. And so when we look at problems that face our planet, we always ask ourselves, what can we do? What can we do to make a difference and move the needle? And then I come in and say, are we going to make any money? Because it's really critical. It's a critical piece of the puzzle. So PFAS is a big deal. It's a great example. We're helping solve that. That's a global crisis, often called the contaminant of the century. And then we spent almost 10 years developing and refining an odor control product that's now just blowing it out on the retail side under the brand Poof, P-O-O-P-H. So 2 great examples of full circle for the business plan.
Yeah, so Poof is something that we talked about last time. It was interesting. I'd love to know any updates on how sales have been for that product.
Yeah, well, so the company wide, we did 132% quarter over quarter for Q4. So that's year end. We're about to publish our Q1 results. That'll come in on or before the 15th or so, right? And then we'll have an earnings call. But we projected over 50% growth quarter over quarter from Q4 to Q1. And we're going to meet that estimate and exceed it, which is awesome. And it's primarily because of Poof. So that's exactly the right question. They launched that product nationwide in Q2 for Walmart. We're in about 1,500 of something like 4,600 or so stores in domestic U.S. And they're blowing out all expectations, which is awesome. Plus, it's also listed with Chewy and of Amazon, of course, and direct to consumer. Yeah. So those 4 approaches are really generating meaningful sales. And we always say, of course, there's more coming. We know that there's at least 2/3 more of the Walmart stores to roll into, plus new online retail, new brick and mortar retailers are coming on as well. Some of the biggest brands in the market. So, yeah, so that trend's going to continue, and it's two things that's happened in that. The first is that it took us to positive cash flow in Q4, and then in Q1, positive cash flow, of course, and we're knocking on the door of profitability, if you can believe it. I mean, it's taken a long time to get there, but it really shows the power of the business model. The business model allows us to leverage through partnership and distribution to go out and change the world, across the world with partners. And that creates enormous scalability for distribution and sales, and of course, free cash flow. And so we're witnessing that with the first big success. And we think PFAS and some of our others are going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you might as well go ahead and say knock, knock, who's there profitability, because you've got 132% increase in revenue, 26% decrease, I believe, in net losses. So you're definitely headed in the right direction.
Yeah, Q1, we're probably going to come in just under, 4 million in revenue, which is great. And so if you look at last year, that's a 3x. I mean, for this next year, if we don't increase, and I think we're going to increase, we don't know for sure because we do rely on partnerships. But clearly, we're demonstrating a significant leverage that occurs when you finally get that critical mass and expand through partnerships. And we got a bunch of partnerships in the works that haven't hit yet that we believe will hit.
Yeah, and I want to, and I'll touch on some other things, but real quick, if you're able to answer the 2/3 additional stores that you're looking to move into in the Walmart space, is there an ETA of that you're able to give us, or is that
it's happening as we speak? So here's the thing with Walmart. They're pretty much in charge. So you just kind of do what they want to do, and they roll it out methodically. And so I don't know whether that's a 3-month or a 6-month, but it's probably something like that based on our current run rate.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me.
Got it. That sounds good to me. Now, you also had a acquisition of a sodium sulfide battery company. How's that integration gone so far with BioLargo, and any updates on that and what we can expect in the future?
Well, it's such an incredible asset. This technology, sodium sulfur, was developed over 8 years of development work by accomplished electrochemists in the field, University of Tennessee. And unfortunately, the original inventor passed away suddenly. And when that happened, his son, who'd worked with him for 14 years, salvaged all the assets. And literally, it was on the verge of going commercial right at that moment. So they saved it. And of course, as you know, Tesla's now reinvented the world and the expectations of what batteries can do, like balance the grid, load in the off-peak, unload in peak hours for economics, backup renewable energy, right, adjacent to EV charging stations. So what we discovered, and what people are really recognizing, is there's a gap in the market because lithium, which is the #1 technology in the world, has some real shortcomings. Number one, it's really prone to fire. And people don't really know that, but when exposed to oxygen, they have a risk of what's called runaway fire. And if you just do a little internet search, you'll see it. It's amazing. So safety is a big deal. The other is that, those are exotics: lithium, cobalt, nickel. Those are rare earth elements that are really mined in offshore. So foreign supply is a big problem. That's one issue. The other is, of course, they're in rare, so the price is going rare, so the price is going crazy. And then the other is efficiency. Lithium has efficiency issues. It only lasts, 6, 7, 8 years. Everybody's working on that. They get 80 to 20% efficiencies. They can't charge to 100%. It builds up dendrites. Okay. So the world's looking for a better battery for certain locations. So our battery checks the box on a number of those: long lasting, domestic supply, no rare earth, 100% efficiency. We've even got an energy density that's 2.9 times that of lithium, which means a lot of power in that battery. It's a little heavier, and it's really not designed to be in a mobile situation. It's more of the fixed site that would go adjacent to solar, like a EV charging station or solar power generation operation or grid balancing. So long-term energy storage is really where we're focused, and that's a void in the market because, as you know, JP Morgan was quoted recently. It's saying that the battery industry would surpass that of the chip industry in the next decade.
Yeah.
So we're going to electrify the world, right? And so batteries are critical. Even in California now, they say if you're going to put a solar panel up, you can't do it without a battery. It's amazing, right? So being on the cutting edge is where we just thrive. I mean, we love it. And so we've got a cutting edge technology. Now, here's the thing. We're not in the battery development business, and we're not in the invention business. We're in the battery building business because it's really already done. And so we acquired the technology and own the intellectual property, literally like 100,000 pieces of paper, went through a long diligence cycle, And now we're actually building a small manufacturing facility in our operation in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, to produce batteries that will allow us to then go out and build partnerships and develop distribution. So we think it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can see the battery space being the way to go, especially when it comes to solar panels, EVs, this, that, the other. You definitely need a way to
I
go
go out
ahead
to
and
the
charge
market.
things
You
up.
want to hear every time I talk about it, they say you'll sell 100% of what you make. The shortage is so incredible, and especially with lithium and these rare earth. So if you're a consistent domestic supplier of a quality product that can store energy, you got a market, and I think it's just incredibly exciting. So,
amen to that. Now, real quick though, AI has been kind of like the talk of the town, right? Different types of AI technology out there. Are y'all utilizing any in the clean tech space, or do you plan on it, or do you kind of feel like, hey, you know what, we're doing all right?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's inevitable. We're all going to use it in some way, whether we know it or not, right? It's going to impact us. And so there's a bunch of things about it that, of course, scare you. But, of course, it's an incredible tool to disseminate and distill down information. And so, I can see that really critical role in things like science and engineering on a predictive basis to help in the innovation cycle. So, yeah, I see it as part of our world for sure. At the moment, most of our work is direct with customer interface, and then our team, has 20 and 30 years experience in the field. So we've got little artificial intelligence running in their brain. I mean, these guys are some smart people. And so they pull on that, that 30 years experience in the field and deliver solutions. And so far, so good, as they say.
Well, Dennis, we've had a lot of conversations about your products, what you've done in the past. You've got earnings coming up, I believe, in a couple of weeks or so. Anything that I missed out on that you wanted to talk to our viewers
about?
Well,
I mean, we can't miss the PFAS thing for just a second. PFAS.
Please.
That's the forever chemicals, right? So the EPA published a testing protocol down to 4 parts per trillion, and it just put the whole industry in a buzz because a number of municipal water people that deliver municipal water, produce water for people to drink, had initiated technology solutions, primarily carbon and ion exchange, that because of this new testing limit are almost obsolete. And so, people jumped early, even though the regs continued to tighten, and they got tighter and tighter and tighter. And even just recently, there was a big case against one of the majors on a class action, forcing them to now stop producing PFAS. This is a global thing.
West Virginia, I think it was.
Yeah, it's just amazing. So what, we started 3 years ago getting ready. We have our first customer in the hopper. We're heading into phase 2. The first project's probably going to be well over $50 to $70 million projects, like a Superfund remediation. And that's the first one. We also have about 38 distribution partners and reps. We're looking at 4 or 5 projects a week. The backlogs of opportunity, we're at the early adopter stage for our technology. And the concept is once we get to full scale implementation, then we can take the market. But until we do that, it's early adopter, people that want to play at this early stage. And so that's more limited. But the opportunity is, as we say, we've got over $100 million worth of business knocking on the door. So we're going to be busy for decades on that. And I think it's important. We actually have a website, bestpfastreatment.com, bestpfastreatment.com. It details the specs. And for the technical audience or people that really want to dig in deep and say, hey, is this real? We've got so much proof of claim. And now just getting to scale is the trick. And we're doing that as we speak. So we're very excited about PFAS. And it's an opportunity that'll keep us busy forever. So
I look forward to hearing more about that whenever you do report your earnings here in a couple of weeks. But Dennis, thank you so much for hanging out with us. That's Dennis Calvert, President and CEO of BioLargo, ticker BLGO. Appreciate you hanging out with us today.
Hey, it was awesome. See you soon.
See ya. All right. We love getting conversations started with executives and having all of your questions answered as well. I saw someone talking about the competing company they might be doing. But as always, I hope you enjoyed the conversations that we had, and make sure you do your own due diligence and dive into the company and see if it's worth investing in your hard-earned company. And keep an eye out for the conversations and the earnings call, especially that Dennis is going to have in a couple of weeks. But we appreciate you for watching All Access.